On November 24, 1971, the day before Thanksgiving in the United States, a man using the name Dan Cooper boarded a short flight from Portland, Oregon, to Seattle, Washington. He wore a dark business suit, carried a briefcase, and appeared completely ordinary. Nothing about him attracted attention. But within hours, he would carry out one of the most famous unsolved crimes in aviation history. The world would later know him as D.B. Cooper.
Shortly after takeoff aboard a Boeing 727 operated by Northwest Orient Airlines, Cooper handed a note to a flight attendant. At first, she assumed it was a phone number from a passenger. Then Cooper quietly told her, "You'd better read that." The note claimed he had a bomb in his briefcase. When the attendant sat beside him, Cooper calmly opened the case just enough to reveal wires and cylindrical objects inside. He then made his demands.
Cooper requested $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck ready upon landing in Seattle. Remarkably, he remained calm and polite throughout the hijacking. Witnesses later described him as composed, controlled, and strangely courteous. Authorities decided to cooperate to protect the passengers. As the plane circled in the air, arrangements were made below.
After landing in Seattle, Cooper released the passengers in exchange for the ransom money and parachutes. Only the flight crew remained on board. Then came the next phase of his plan. Cooper instructed the pilots to take off again, heading south toward Mexico at low altitude and relatively slow speed. It was raining heavily outside. Night had fallen. And somewhere over the dark forests of the Pacific Northwest, Cooper made his move.
At some point during the flight, Cooper lowered the rear staircase of the Boeing 727, a feature unique to the aircraft. Then, carrying the ransom money and wearing a parachute, he jumped into the stormy night. No one saw him land. The plane eventually landed safely. But Cooper was gone. And the mystery had only begun.
The FBI launched one of the most extensive investigations in its history. Agents searched forests, rivers, and remote wilderness areas across the Pacific Northwest. Hundreds of suspects were investigated over the years. But no confirmed trace of Cooper was ever found. No body. No parachute. No definitive evidence of survival or death. It was as if he had vanished into the night.
The mystery sparked endless debate. Some investigators believed Cooper likely died during the jump. The weather was terrible, the terrain dangerous, and parachuting conditions extremely difficult. Others argued that the hijacker appeared too prepared and knowledgeable to make such a reckless mistake. Was he a trained military parachutist? A former pilot? An intelligence operative? No one knows for certain.
In 1980, a young boy discovered bundles of decaying cash along the banks of the Columbia River. The serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom money. It was the first major physical evidence found since the hijacking. But instead of solving the case, the discovery created even more questions. How did the money end up there? And if some of the cash survived, what happened to the rest?
Over the decades, investigators and amateur detectives proposed countless suspects. Some theories focused on former soldiers or experienced skydivers. Others accused criminals, adventurers, or men with aviation knowledge. Books, documentaries, and films turned the mystery into a cultural phenomenon. Yet despite all the theories, no suspect was ever conclusively identified as D.B. Cooper.
The case became more than a hijacking. It became a legend. A mysterious man in a suit, calmly hijacking a plane, collecting ransom money, and disappearing into a stormy night without a trace. The story captured the imagination of the world because it felt almost unreal. Yet it truly happened.
More than 50 years later, the identity and fate of D.B. Cooper remain officially unsolved. Did he survive the jump? Did he disappear into the wilderness forever? Or did he escape and quietly live out the rest of his life unnoticed? Somewhere in the dark skies above the Pacific Northwest, the truth disappeared with him. And one of history's greatest mysteries was born the moment a lone figure jumped into the storm and vanished.